This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Buon per lui.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Ciao a tutti ragazzi, io sono Alessandrobasi e oggi ci troviamo su Stanley Parable. Allora, vediamo un po'. Vedete, questo impiegato si è trovato, diciamo, da solo in questo grandissimo ufficio.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bene, dicevo.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Che bello, si possono spegnere i computer. Comunque qua, come vedete, sto premendo spazio. Non si può saltare. E vediamo un po', bisogna andare nella stanza delle riunioni. Fastidio. Grazie. Tanto è bello spegnere il PC forzatamente. Ah, che sporco. Bleh. Vediamo un po' allora.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Vediamo. Le porte si chiudono da sole. Oh mio Dio. Le porte elettroniche. Vediamo un po'. Donna santa del sole. Ah, mi bruciano gli occhi.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Nemmeno qui.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Qualcuno si sta nascondendo? Fa un nascondino? Dov'è? Nessuno che c'è, veramente. Un closet. Va bene.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Vediamo un po'. Sto bordello dell'aria. No, non si può. Non si può girare. Oh, che bello. Bello rosso. Ok. Exit bathroom. Ok. Il bagno. Basta. Qua qualche info qua. Cioè veramente non riesco a passare in questo spazio. Boh. Qui? No. Sarà qui allora.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2 2845.
Oh, beh
But
dai.
of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Quindi... Oh, vino.
Vino!
Comunque qua diceva il pin, che era...
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs.
Due.
Trying to input anything on the device was
otto.
useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the
Random
correct
button,
code by
pozioni.
sheer luck.
Oddio.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oddio. Che cavolo. Ok. Che è tutto un reality show? Ok.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Dacci vostri.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oh, escape. Beh, dovremmo vincere pure questo coso. Shh.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Ah. Andiamo avanti.
The door behind him was not shut.
Ho
Stanley
visto,
still had
infatti.
every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Proviamo ad andare. Oh. Oddio. Dove sono caduto? Penso ci fosse un pavimento sotto. Oddio. Mi sono spappolato le gambe. Oddio.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
Bye.
Farewell, Stanley.
Ah. Beh, ci vediamo al prossimo episodio, ragazzi.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
E niente ragazzi, questo è The Stanley Parable. Diciamo che comunque molti di voi penso abbiano già visto questo The Office. Questo, diciamo, questo tipo di gioco. Anzi, proprio questo gioco. Praticamente in questo gioco ci sono, diciamo, varie scelte che possiamo fare. Qui è la mappa dove siamo partiti. Sì, layout infatti, qua dove siamo partiti. Praticamente possiamo o seguire il narratore oppure proprio non seguirlo proprio. Ed è, diciamo, proprio queste scelte che la storia cambia ogni volta che, diciamo, riavviamo. Metto un elevator. Exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Siete pronti a ricominciare? Sì.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
E si ricomincia ragazzi. Ciao a tutti ragazzi, io sono alessandrobasi e oggi ci troviamo in un nuovo episodio con questo nuovo gioco abbastanza strano. E vediamo. Dal video avete visto che, diciamo, siamo
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
diciamo, siamo un lavoratore che sta in questo grandissimo ufficio e... computer. Vediamo un po'. Una porta aperta. Dove porta? Dove porta la porta aperta? What? Awaiting input. Diamoglielo. Facciamo esplodere la Francia, dai. Senza offesa ai francesi che vedono il nostro video. Andiamo a vedere. Vediamo un po'. Due
When Stanley
porte.
came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Qual è la sinistra, ragazzi? Questo o questo? Bah, proviamo questo, dai.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Grazie.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oh, computer acceso. Ah. Un'altra porta aperta. Può aprire? No. Molto... Oh.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Molto, molto, veramente. Molto bello questa zona, relax.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers are
Andiamo
mysterious
avanti.
but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Una sedia. Ah, c'è anche qua una sedia.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Dice, quotation. Non dire bugie, se tu stai mentendo, fermati ora. Ok. No, va bene, seguiamo le regole. Quindi, scrivete qua sotto nei commenti cosa ve ne pare. Lasciate un mi piace per supportare la serie. Dai, andiamo avanti.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Sì, è vero.
Someone you've
Quindi,
forgotten about.
problemi?
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it,
Oh,
Stanley.
grazie.
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Stiamo aspettando. Aspettiamolo, Oh, stanza abbastanza buia.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the
Come fa a
phone.
dondolare? Che facciamo? Non seguiamo quello che dici, vai. Qua. Dobbiamo per forza rispondere? Tipo...
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
Yes.
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly?
Yes.
I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken.
Io
This
sono
is why you've been
alessandrobasi,
able to make
grazie.
correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video. Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Oddio ragazzi. Danger, danger everywhere. Grazie. Me ne ero accorto. More charts. Ok. Oh. Questo è nuovo.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Grazie. Molto sicura sta cosa. No. Molto restrittiva. Mi fa fare tutto il percorso all'indietro?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
che fare, ragazzi? Seguiamo o non seguiamo? Nah.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Che è successo? Oddio. Ehi.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to.
Non ci provare.
I have to.
No! L'ha fatto, quindi.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With
grazie.
You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are.
Forse.
My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the
Colpa
world
di
that was
bug,
mine, and you
non è
run
problema
it into
mio.
the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child.
What?
Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
What?
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Boh, dai, vediamo un po'. Questo è
Yet there was
molto
not a
meglio.
single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
What? Verde? Oh.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Put this...
Fine, you're not going to do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your
Ma non ho
respect.
mai parlato di sto
The kind
gioco,
of
dai.
respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there.
Ma
Why
se
did
mi
you
hai
come
detto
this way?
seguirti prima.
Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward.
Oh. Questo è diverso. Quindi, se il video vi è piaciuto lasciate un mi piace sotto questo video, lasciate un commento, iscrivetevi se volete vedere altri video e lasciate un mi piace per supportare il canale, mi raccomando, e noi ci vediamo al prossimo video, sempre sabato. Ciao a tutti!